Embracer Group enters into an agreement to purchase Eidos, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal. Good news times! What a refreshing change from yesterday. See, I was going to cover this yesterday, but Times article. I cannot lie, it triggered my timbers something fierce. The very idea of free speech simply being a contrarian position held by tech billionaires and engineers working in Silicon Valley. But happy thoughts, as this releases some really cool IPs to a company that might actually give a shit for once. As it is, of course, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Khain. Now, to you tadpoles out there, Legacy of Khain might not ring a whole lot of bells, but Thief, Deus Ex, and Tomb Raider absolutely should, as these, well, they were enormous franchises in their own rights back in the day. I mean, Tomb Raider was huge by the relative standards of early gaming, that is, and Deus Ex is probably still one of the best RPGs ever produced. Number 2, I would say, as personally I think Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is just a tiny little step above, in my ever so humble opinion. And Thief, never really got into it myself, but I do hear it's really good. And the key point here isn't just that these have been freed from the clammy grip of their abusive overlords for a relatively low price as well, apparently $300 million. Now, that ain't pocket change, sure, but for Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, Thief, and Legacy of Khain? That sounds like a steal to me. Now, you might be wondering, who the hell is Embracer Group and why is this good news? Well, they're probably more commonly known as THQ Nordic, which has built itself up quite a positive reputation within gaming for, well, not necessarily always delivering gold, but they always try at the very least. Again, not everything they touch turn into precious minerals, sure, in fact some of it turns into a flowing river of feces, but they always enter into their project seemingly with the best of intentions, and they're also picking up and adopting a lot of games that, well, have kind of been forgotten and really don't deserve to be. Knights of Honor Sovereign 2, for example, is a lovely example of that. A really damn cool little game that never really quite managed to break through into proper popularity. Or Outcast 2, for example. Outcast as well was a game that it had quite a lot of buzz around it initially, but it never, it arrived and it kind of like farted onto the scene, developed a fairly good cultish following, and then just disappeared, never to be seen again until now. You've got Superpower 3, you've got Destroy All Humans 2, and Desperados 3. These are not massive seismic success titles. They're not your Call of Duties, your Warcrafts, etc. Instead, they're more along the middle layer of popularity. Those who love these series love them a tremendous deal, and really don't like that they've been kind of just left to languish. They are fan-pleaser titles, is what I'll probably call them. And THQ has done a pretty damn good job of bringing them back into the limelight, and most importantly, they have delivered what the fans of these games want. They haven't, the archetypical example, for example, of Dawn of War 3, where a company that should know a lot better has just simply taken the title and slapped it onto something that nobody ever wanted and nobody ever asked for, purely to push more copies. Like Desperados 3 is a Desperados game. Expeditions Rome is an Expeditions game. Now, that's a bit more of a recent series, but you get my drift. They tend to remain true to the original. There's also the Kingdom of Amula Re-Reckoning, again, a title that never quite really managed to live up to expectations, yet it did manage to get a faithful following that THQ Nordic has decided to remain, again, faithful to. And That is absolutely the key here. Because let's think about Deus Ex, for example, the big title, right? What if a new Deus Ex was announced? Everyone would be leaping through the roofs going, oh my god, it's Deus Ex by Activision Blizzard. Or EA. or BioWare. People would look at it and go like, I mean, it could be good. It would be reserved optimism, shall we say, at best. But THQ Nordic, again, I got this feeling, because they always try to do their best to capture the original spirit of the game. If they were to make a Deus Ex game, it wouldn't be the most graphically impressive, it wouldn't be the most mechanically impressive, hell, it probably wouldn't even be the best video game it possibly could be, but it would be Deus Ex. And that really is the key here. Because when people are asking for a sequel to Thief, they want a Thief game. They want a Legacy of Khain game. They want Tomb Raider. Now, holy hell. If you want the easiest franchise to bring back into relevancy with a bit of a smash hit, Tomb Raider. Screw all of that recent nonsense of the latest Tomb Raider entry, which was more torture porn than anything else half the way, and just make Lara Croft, the big-bosomed, buxom, sexy-ass British explorer delving through ridiculous labyrinths, getting ancient treasures. It would be so damn easy and so damn popular as well. It's not like the Tomb Raider genre style of games has become unpopular. It's not like beautiful women with ginormous tits have suddenly become unpopular overnight, or even the very idea of an exploratory kind of shooter style game with some puzzles and some cool ass treasure. You could simply just do that and it wouldn't be rocket science. Now, Deus Ex will be a hell of a lot more complex because, well, the very idea of Deus Ex is large, sprawling, hyper-complex, advanced storylines with deep and interesting characters, locations, secrets, etc. That'd be a hell of a lot more work, but something like Thief, you could make a decent Thief game. You could make a decent Legacy of Khain game. Literally, you could even just go back and remaster some of the old ones, which would absolutely sell, and that is kind of the way that THQ Nordic tends to do things. They're also making now, Jagged Alliance 3, I think, as well. And, hell, this one here. Comanche. An excellent example of a video game that's not going to be shaking the fundamental root of gaming. It is not going to be the next Call of Duty, it's not going to be an enormous hit, but the old-style genre of ridiculously over-the-top, you are a military helicopter destroying entire armies kind of thing. It's still fun. It's still good old-fashioned nonsense that's amusing. It is still a genre that very well might have success. It has simply just been kind of thrown out the window for the more AAA style video games. I can't help but be a little bit optimistic about this. I really can't, because, again, THQ Nordic, they might not deliver the best product, but they always deliver what their fans want them to deliver, at least so far as I've seen up until now. So, them getting their hands on something like these titles, these IPs, man, we might actually finally see a return to form for these titles, because I say that every time, don't I? Like, oh hey, this is going to be an excellent opportunity to really reinvigorate this old, venerable, and really cool franchise, and then the game comes out, and yeah, it doesn't really turn out to be all that much of a spectacle. The recent Jedi Academy game, for example, was a perfect example of that. Or well, it wasn't Jedi. What was it, Jedi Knight or something? That one of the unbelievably bland protagonists. That I don't even remember his name, but I can perfectly envision his face as just the personification of blandness. And his hair, which remains perfect even after having been dunked into water. Like, it was the definition of a middle-of-the-road, good-enough shovelware piece of shit game that nevertheless had a lot of success because there was the first good Star Wars games in absolute ages. if THQ Nordic just manage to replicate that alone, they will have success. And of course, the real hope here is that, okay, maybe the next Tomb Raider or the next Deus Ex, the next Thief is, you know, it's okay, it's there, you know, it fulfills what the fans wanted to, but it lacks a little bit of that extra, a little bit of that polish, a little bit of that spice on top, you know? Well, maybe they'll actually be able to deliver that with the next one with a proper budget, with proper experience under their belt, and an actual proper development history. Because they're gonna make the first game, they're gonna make mistakes, they're gonna make screw-ups. The whole biomutant thing was a wonderful example of that yet again. And again, maybe then, thereafter, after having developed more experience, more history, more rapport with their fans, they can deliver the true experience that these games deserve. And bearing in mind as well, these studios that they are purchasing here, they're not just picking up the IPs, they are picking up the companies that have had some decent success with these titles in the past. Like the latest Deus Ex entries were not at all bad received. I couldn't get into them myself, but more of a personal taste issue, much like The Witcher. I cannot play those games, yet I recognize that they are amazing video games. So I'm really excited for this. Like, I think this could actually genuinely be something, and for once, it's not because of the IP itself. It's not a vain hope that, oh, maybe this IP could be cool again. I actually have a belief in the company running it, in the company having oversight over it, in the people holding the purse strings, which is a rare and welcome experience. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below, and as always, of course, if you like the video, please do consider leaving a thumbs up as well for the YouTube algorithmic gods, even though, here's the thing too. A lot of those comments do get flagged spam, so if you don't see it pop up, it's there. It's just that YouTube is like, what? Comment for the algorithm gods? Oh well, no bless with me on my watch. It helps nevertheless though, so again, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.